the girl for me, please. She was just 13, and I just don't think that she ever seen.
Okay, thank you for joining me. I'll start right away. Yes. God made you so beautiful. Yes. Good day, people. Okay, so we're going to be talking about something very important to the success of marriage today. Yes, actually, it's been on my list for a while, and I just believe it's time for us to talk about it. Yes, and it's about sex in marriage. Sex in marriage. Yes, you might be wondering, okay, so why am I talking about sex in marriage when I know that single people too will see this video? The truth of the matter is, it's all about the foundation. It's all about the foundation. The truth is that so many problems in marriages today actually started from when these people involved were singles. So it's about laying the right foundation. It's very, very important for us to lay the right foundation. And like they say, those that fail to prepare, they do what? They prepare to fail. So that's why I want to, take this chat with both the singles and the married. Yes, so, and another thing that actually inspired me more to talk about this is the fact that if you are someone like me, if you were in a position that I was in when I was getting married, where the counseling session was so skeletal and all that, you might actually find yourself in problems later. So that's why it's important for you to prepare yourself ahead of time. So thank God I was prepared to an extent, yes, by reading, and all that, and gaining knowledge from other sources too. And then, very few of us have our parents talking to us, sitting us down to talk to us about sex in marriage. So it's very important. Yes, it's very important. So many men actually complain about their wives, dreading sex. Some wives even quiz their husbands. They ask them, is sex food? Okay, is sex food? What's the hype about sex? What's the big deal? What's the thing about this sex thing? The truth of the matter is, yes, sex is food for your marriage. It's very important for the success of your marriage, the overall success of your marriage. If God did not think that sex in marriage was very important, He wouldn't have given it as a gift to married couples. Well, you already know what my stance is when it comes to sex outside marriage. So if you are not married, you're not to engage in sex. It's just to prepare you ahead of time, because of what so many married people are going through now started from the root cause was from their single stage. So yes, what are some things that actually make married women, that actually make women in marriage, wives, to ignore their sex life, or to think that marriage, sex in marriage is not very important? Or why do some women hate sex in their marriages? Why do they feel, oh, this guy is just troubling me, instead of being excited about sex as it's supposed to be? Now, there are so many factors that can be responsible for this. The first thing is false indoctrinations. When we are growing up, maybe because our parents want to protect us, they tell us a lot of things. And even some churches, they make it look as if sex is dirty, sex is, is a sin. And so people go into marriage with that outlook. And then when they get married, they just feel, wow, they told me sex is dirty. Ugh, they told me sex is unholy. I have to pray and fast and cleanse myself immediately after sex. I have to fast and pray first of all. Now, it's not supposed to be like that. Sex is not dirty. Sex is a gift. It's a beautiful thing, as long as it's within the confines of marriage. So sex is a gift to married couples, and it's something that both of you should enjoy. You know, it's a relaxing thing. Sex in marriage is a beautiful thing. It's a wonderful experience. It's something that binds you together. It's something that, you know, strengthens the cord of intimacy between the two of you. So you need to get rid of those false indoctrinations. The truth of the matter is, sex itself is not dirty. Sex is not unholy. It is sex outside marriage that is sin. Okay, so that's the first thing. Another thing that could be responsible for this problem is insecurity. You know, some people feel insecure about their bodies. They feel, I don't think he's going to like my breast. I don't want to have sex in during the daylight. You know, people feel insecure about their bodies. That could be responsible for it. There are some people like that. They are not. They have this low self-esteem. So if you, and you know, like we say, what you don't have, you can't give another person. If you don't love yourself, someone else cannot love you, and you can't give love back. And you know, sex in marriage, I prefer actually to call it love making. So you can't receive love, and you can't give love if you don't love yourself. So you must come to love your body. So if you are not yet married and you're already looking at yourself, my breasts are already sagging, I don't like myself, you're going to have problems when it comes to sex in marriage. And another thing that could be responsible is past hurts. You know, maybe you have been abused as a child, maybe you were a victim of rape or any form of abuse at all. This could be responsible if you have not allowed yourself to heal. So it's very important for you to allow yourself to heal. If you're already married and you're still carrying these baggages, these hurts, you know, around, it's going to continue to affect your sex life. So you have to deal with it. You have to, you know, forgive the persons that have hurt you. You have to forgive yourself. Okay? So past hurts, past sexual experiences, maybe you have had, you know, past sexual experiences that were not good. You know, they can also affect you overall. So you need to deal with those hurts. Then another thing that could be responsible is depression. Depression, anxiety, you know, sadness. When someone is not happy, when you're depressed, you can't enjoy sex. And you know, as women, we are more of emotional beings. We have that emotional side of us. Okay, so you connect, your mind connects directly to your translation when it comes to sex. So if you are depressed, if you're sad, please do something about it. If you need counseling, if you need someone to support you, if you need help, seek help so that you can deal with this aspect of your life. Yes, depression, anxiety, and sadness can actually lead to, you know, withdrawal when it comes to enjoying sex. Another thing is fear. Fear. Some people are scared of being vulnerable. You know, they are always uptight. They don't want. They will just be thinking, okay, what is he going to think about me? What's he going to think of me when I'm so expressive when it comes to sex? Won't he think that maybe maybe I had practiced sex before marriage? Maybe I'm lying that I didn't have any, relationship before him, things like that. So the fear of being vulnerable. The truth of the matter is the Bible talks about the first couple, says they were both naked and not ashamed. They were unashamed. So in marriage, you shouldn't be ashamed. You shouldn't be ashamed of who you are. You shouldn't be ashamed of expressing yourself. It's a love relationship. That's what it's supposed to be. So if you are scared of being vulnerable, you need to deal with it. If you are a single person and you are scared of trusting people, of being vulnerable and all that, you need to deal with it right from now. Go into marriage with the notion that, okay, in marriage I have to be open. I have to be open to my spouse, and there is nothing to be ashamed about. There's nothing to be ashamed about. Once you get married, you already have the license, okay, to have sex with your spouse. Another thing is tiredness or exhaustion. Yes, it can affect your sex life too. Tiredness and exhaustion. Don't go into marriage with the impression that, oh, when I get to marriage, I'm going to do all the work. I'm going to, cook and wash and do everything. No. I want to prepare your mind right from before you are married that you can't do everything, yes, all by yourself in one day. You have to, prioritize your sex life and say, okay, my relationship is very important. So whatever you can do part time, do it. Not that you go into marriage and then you are always stressed out. Once your body is stressed out, you might not, be interested in sex. And it's the same thing I'm talking to the singles, I'm talking to the married people. So just be picking your own. If you're always tired, you need to do something about it. Yes, if you have to leave the dishes sometimes, please do. If you have to, you don't have to do everything. You can't be tired every day. If you keep complaining, I'm tired today, I'm tired tomorrow, I'm tired next, you're tired next tomorrow, and then you're tired next month and next year, you're always tired, there's a problem. So you need to do something about it. So tiredness and exhaustion can actually cause problems in the sex life of couples. Then another thing is physical problems. Some people have physical problems, maybe like hurting sex. Okay, maybe they are always, anytime they have sex with their spouses, they always feel hot. That's a problem. And if you can't, maybe there's something both of you need to do. Maybe you need to communicate with each other. Tell him, I'm not yet ready. Okay, or maybe you need to increase your foreplay so that you are well lubricated before the act, or you need to see a doctor if need be. Yes, so physical problems like health issues can be responsible for this. Another thing is emotional problem. Some people have emotional problems, problems with letting go. Okay, problems with trust. They can't trust people. And when you have sex, you are giving all of yourself. That's the height you can give to anybody. You are giving the whole of yourself when you have sex with your spouse. So some people have that issue with trusting. Okay, if you have trust issues as a single person, you need to deal with it. If you're going to get married, you need to learn to trust your spouse. Learn to trust him with your body. So it's very, very important that we take note of these things. So really, we can't blame all women for hating sex. They have issues that need to be dealt with. So if you have issues, if you have those wrong mentalities, if you have issues that you are dealing with in your heart, please deal with them so that your marriage will not suffer for it. Now the truth, like I said before, is that sex in marriage is beautiful. It's a gift. Okay, it relieves stress. It's comforting. It's not a dreadful thing. Okay, and it's incredibly healthy. It's healthy. There's nothing wrong with having sex with your spouse. Like I said before, you already know my stance when it comes to sex outside marriage. Sex outside marriage is no, it's wrong, capitally wrong. Now, sex in marriage is the deepest level of intimacy you can enjoy with your spouse. So why would you want to deprive yourself of that? Yes, some people actually are married and they're like housemates. Yes, they don't even touch themselves. There's no romance. They don't touch themselves. There's no sex, nothing. And people, they feel, oh, the men, they are the ones that have the high libido. They are the ones that always want sex and all that. It's not always true. There are actually some women, yes, that they are the ones that want sex more than their husbands. So if you are in that if you are in that situation, there's nothing to be ashamed about. There's nothing to be ashamed about. Now, this is one very important thing I want you to note. I want you to know that sex is something that is not something only for your husband. Now, that is the problem that many women have. You hear people say, better open your legs for him so that he won't go and look for it somewhere else. Now, it's not supposed to be like that. It's supposed to be something, a mingling of your souls. It's supposed to be something that both of you enjoy. You're not doing him a favor by having sex with him. That's a very wrong mentality. If you're going into marriage with that mentality that, oh, I want to get once I get married, let me just perform my bedroom duties so that he won't commit adultery. You're wrong. It's not supposed to be like that. That's where you'll be depriving yourself of the pleasure you're supposed to get as a person too. So sex in marriage is for both the husband and the wife. So it's something that you should enjoy too. It is something you should look forward to enjoying, not something that is only for your husband. It's not a duty that you just say, oh, let me just perform my duty and he has done his own. Okay, that's all. You should go into sex in marriage with the intention of satisfying your husband and being satisfied too. So it's a two-way thing. It's a two-way thing. That is very important. And like it has been found out, they say that the mind is the #1 sex organ. It's not your breast or your vagina. It's your mind. If your mind is not, positively, inclined, you will not enjoy sex in marriage. So that is why I first of all mentioned the problems, the things that could lead you to not enjoying sex in marriage. I think it's high time we talked about this. And the problem here really is that it's more rampant in the church. It's more rampant among Christian women, okay, who want to be holier than God himself that has created this sex. So if you're a Christian woman, sex in marriage is holy. It's a form of worship. It's a mingling. Okay, it's a gift that God has given unto you and your spouse to bring you to closer together. So it's not something you should dread. It's not something you should be afraid of. It's something you should look forward to. I'd like to drop a few tips before I close on this. I just want us to renew our minds. Renew your mind. Don't let trash, okay? Don't let trash from the world clog your mind, clog your ears, clog your heart, okay? Be free. Release yourself. Allow yourself to enjoy the free gifts that God has given unto you. It's one of the dividends of marriage, and it's something that you should embrace. So if you are there and you're just like, oh, holy sister, and you're married, you're wrong. Yes, holy, no sex, fast, or you go fasting for days and months, okay, on hand, and then you're thinking, is it food? My husband is a pastor now, you should understand. No, that's wrong. Even Apostle Paul talks about it. Says we should not don't defraud your spouse. Don't defraud your spouse. As much as people keep saying, oh, is sex in marriage, is it that important and all that, it has caused a lot of marriages to crash. So we need to do something about it, especially women in the church. Yes, I wish I can talk to men too. They have their own side to this, but I'm talking to women here. So yes, please, let's know that sex in marriage is for both the man and the woman. Now, women are more in touch with their emotions, and that's why it's very, very important for us to, know that our mind must be in the right, must be in the right frame of mind for us to enjoy sex in marriage. So whether you're single or you're married, you need to work on your mind. Allow the Holy Spirit to work on your mind. Allow the Holy Spirit give you that freedom in your heart. Okay? Yes. So now another thing is communication. If you're married, you need to learn to communicate. Learn to communicate your needs. Learn to communicate, okay, I don't want this now. If you are someone that is always let me just hold things to myself, or let him just do his thing. No, you should learn to communicate, and then don't sweep things under the carpet. Like I said, women, we are more emotionally attached to things, and when your mind is not your mind is not okay, when you're not happy with your spouse, you will not be happy with having sex with him. Even if you allow him, you just allow him, and you yourself will not enjoy it. So learn to trash issues out. Don't be fond of pushing things under the carpet. So if you're a single woman and you are fond of, once anything happens, you shut down, it will affect you. Yes, it is going to affect your marriage later. So learn to deal with your emotions. Learn to deal with your issues with your spouse. Communicate. Then decide to be involved. Like I said, if you're single and you're going into marriage with the intention of, oh, when I get married, I will shall do it. We shall open our legs. Wrong move, wrong notion, wrong thinking. Yes, decide that, okay, I will be involved. It's for both of us. Both of us will enjoy sex in marriage. Then see great sex as something you deserve as much as your husband. Yes, you deserve it. You deserve that relaxation. You deserve the bonding. Yes, you deserve it. It's not only something for your husband. It's something that you deserve. Yes, so if you're unmarried yet, look forward to it. It's something that, it's a beautiful thing within the confines of marriage. And if you're married, it is something that you yourself should enjoy. it's something that you should learn to enjoy. Like I mentioned, one of the things that affects sex in the sex life of so many women is tiredness and exhaustion. Learn to ask for help. If you're married, ask your husband politely, please, can you help me pick this? Can you please help me? Ask for help. Some of us, we just assume and say, he doesn't even care. I've been working since morning and he has not helped me with anything. Did you ask him? At least ask for help. And if maybe your husband is so busy and he's always tired too or something, if you can afford it, get external help, or you get machines that can make your work easier. Instead of sitting down to wash and wash and wash, invest on maybe a washing machine. It's going to cut down on your stress at the end of the day. So it's very important for you to know that you don't need to overwork yourself, because your sex life is very, very important. Now, finally, seek help if you need help. If you are finding it difficult to deal with your mentality when it comes to sex, you need counseling. You need tutoring. Yes, as a single lady, before you go into marriage, before you start having issues in your marriage. And if you're married, like I said, some problems are emotional, some of them are physical. If your problems are emotional, you might need to see a sex therapist. You might need to see a counselor, okay, so that you can deal with your issues, deal with your past issues, your past hurts, your past experiences, to help have a total overhaul of your mind. And if it's a physical problem, please see a doctor. There are certain health issues that can lead you to not enjoy sex, and then at the end of the day you just ate it. So please seek help. Now, I am doing this seriously because sex in marriage is very, very, very important. And yes, sex in marriage is food. It's food for your marriage. It's very important. It's not something that we should take with levity. Many Christian women, they actually take this aspect of their marriage with levity. And at the end of the day, they frustrate their husbands, they frustrate their partners, and then at the end of the day, the marriage is unhappy. Sex in marriage is like oil, is like a lubricant that will aid your marriage to run very well. So yes, to my single sisters, please, I beg you, deal with yourself, deal with your mind before you go into marriage. Sex is not a dirty thing. It's not unholy. It is only sex outside marriage that is unholy. Sex in marriage is holy. Sex in marriage is a beautiful thing. Don't defraud your spouse. If you are married, out of all these things that we have talked about, please evaluate yourself. What exactly is the reason I don't enjoy having sex with my spouse? What exactly is the problem? If it's something you need to both sit down together and talk about, please, 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 please talk about it. And yes, pray about your sex life. If you're having issues, if you're having difficulty, letting go, if you're having difficulties being free, okay, free in the arms of your husband, pray about it. Pray about it, because I believe that there is nothing that prayers cannot resolve. Yeah, so that's my message to you this week. Sex in marriage is not to be dreaded. It's a gift. So prepare your mind if you're single, and if you're married, begin to enjoy your sex life from today. And I pray that God will bless your lives in the name of Jesus and give us wonderful marriages, beautiful marriages. Yes, sex is not all there is to marriage, but it's an integral part. It's a very important part of marriage. I pray that God will help you and help you renew your mind, because that is the first place that you need to deal with. Thank you again for joining me. If you for those that don't know me, I'm Omoshebi Mary Omolola. If you have any questions, you can send them to me. If you are having issues with your sex life, you can send questions to me. And actually, I have a sister of mine that is a sex therapist. I can always refer you to her. You need to deal with this. You need to enjoy your marriage. You need to enjoy the gift of God. Why should you refrain from God's free gift to you? It's not worth it. It's not worth the stress of arguing with your husband over and over and over again, of depriving your husband, of making him sad, of making yourself sad. Because even your body needs, that romance. Your body needs the sex too, as a woman. So remember, sex in marriage is for the benefit of both yourself and your husband. See you again next week. Thank you. I say thank you to everyone that joined me today. God bless you. God bless you. I'll expect your questions. If you have any questions, send them to me. You can email them to me, thebeautifulbranch@gmail.com, or you can send me a private message on my Facebook page. All right, enjoy the